We're mobile. Take Fox Sports 1350 with you using iHeartRadio. It's the IE's home for sports. KPWK AM 1350, Riverside, San Bernardino, an iHeartRadio station.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Yes, we are back in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. This is IE Sportsnet, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. We are right here live on Fox Sports Radio AM 1350. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here. We're also streaming at Fox Sports 1350 and the iHeartRadio app. You know, I'm excited about this because the person we got calling in, it's pretty exciting, man. I knew this young lad for some time, and I see him going off and doing new things, and it's really exciting to see what he's doing. This is a good friend of mine. Mr. Wing, are you out there?
I am here, guys. You know, I really appreciate you guys letting me on, IE Sportsnet, Fox Sports, man. You know, that's huge.
Fantastic, man. So go ahead, introduce yourself to the Fox Sports Radio audience.
Okay, so, I'm Mike Wing, and, what I've been putting together is, something called the Officer Challenge, and we developed it into something more where we're actually, it's going to be Unity to Spark Change. We just started it up yesterday, and we're going to be doing big things. We're really focused towards the community and building it up in our current time.
Indeed. Now, after reading your bio, kind of going over some of the details about you, you were mentioning that the Climate America, that you first wanted to inspire change, and then you started this meeting with these 3 police officers, I guess, was some like more sporadic, and they kind of created that. So kind of talk about that meeting and what got you engaged in this Officer Challenge.
See, it was, it really was sporadic. I watched the video that, everyone knows about. I don't need to have to, say exactly, what it was. But, I saw that and it just instilled a lot of anger and animosity. And, but the weird thing about it was that it kind of changed me a little bit. I was just kind of like, how long am I going to hold on to this anger and hurt? I need to find a different way to, make things different because things aren't working out with the way they currently are. And I was sitting at a restaurant, and I saw a table of 3 police officers. And, the normal me would have been afraid.
Right.
And then they got up and walked out, and I don't know, something in me, and the fiance, she was kind of looking at me like, what are you thinking about doing? And I decided just to get up. And I walked outside with them, and I just said, hey, I just wanted to say thank you. And, just started, talking with them. And we talked for a good, 20 minutes and just talked about personal things and took a picture at the end, posted it on social media, and decided to put it under the hashtag Officer Challenge. And it blew up. All of a sudden, a bunch of people were sharing it. I was getting a bunch of messages.
Right.
And it was just... It was interesting. I was doing it just for fun, and then all of a sudden, all these people are sending me messages saying, "Hey, we love what you're doing. Keep it going." And I'm like, "Wow, I'm actually doing something. My voice means something."
Indeed. Now, you talked about obviously having to overcome that fear because, just like everybody else, it's generally, when you see the sirens behind you, you can be as legal as you want to be, but it kind of just drums up a little fear or some kind of anxiety. What kind of communication, if any, did you have? Did you talk to the officers about that, about overcoming that fear, or that's something that you haven't? How did you deal with that part?
That was something I kind of kept internally. I didn't tell them I was afraid of them. I just tried to talk to them like, just any other human being.
Right.
That was the main thing for me, is just talking to them. And, internally was I a little, I won't say fearful,
I'll say
more intimidated, anxious, for sure. Yeah, 100%, that was going through my body. But what was actually really crazy to me was it went over very smoothly. And after talking to them for like a good, minute, I stopped paying attention to, the badge that was on their chest. Nice. And the gun that was on their waist. We were just talking, and they're asking about my family. I was asking about their family. So it was interesting, it really changed my perspective.
And once again, we have Mike Wing on the phone on Fox Sports 1350 Inland Empire. He has helped create a movement called Officer Challenge, and now he's transitioning into hashtag Unity to Spark Change. And I have a question for you. I've looked at your hashtag, the hashtag Officer Challenge. It's been embraced by many, like you said, in the movement you created, spur of the moment, and you went and did it. But there's also been some people that have had negative reactions. And what do you say to anyone who's had a negative reaction to what you're doing?
So to me, people that are having a negative reaction, if you're critiquing me, that means you're obviously watching what I'm doing. So to me, I want those people to continue to, watch what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that, eventually somewhere down the road, it might actually spark, some type of change in them, because ultimately everything I'm trying to do is positive, and we've all gone down the road sometimes where we've critiqued things that were positive, but that was just because that was what instilled in our mind. We didn't like something for some reason.
Right.
So to me, I just ask them to keep, paying attention to what I'm doing, because, ultimately when it comes down to it, if no one's giving you negative things, that means no one's listening.
Absolutely. My mother used to give me negative stuff all the time, so maybe she was listening. Who knows? She didn't. She told me to get out of her face, but that's okay. But you know what? Your movement is growing. I know you worked a lot with the Ventura County Sheriff's Association, so big ups to you for building that bridge. And like you said, this is something that started spur of the moment. But, for anything that happened, a great idea that happened, it's one person that can spark that change, and it can change the world. But, we had a conversation, and even you were surprised when you talked about this. Many agencies throughout Southern California have reached out to you with positive feedback. And then you've heard as far as Las Vegas. Now, like you said, the day you were sitting with your fiance and you guys were getting dinner, did you ever expect for this to grow this fast when you first put together? Because you talked to me about it. Did you ever expect this?
No, not at all. I mean, I was just doing it out of courtesy. I just thought, hey, they're dealing with a lot of stuff right now. Is some stuff justified? Yeah, but that doesn't mean every single one of law enforcement should be going through what they're going through. It's dealing with a small sample size. It goes so much deeper, and I could talk about this for probably 2 hours. But I know we got an hour show sample size. but it goes a lot deeper. So I had to start looking at myself and starting to identify. I've gotten mad about being stereotypes. And being pulled over by law enforcement or detained by law enforcement just because of what I felt like because of the color of my skin. And I had to start looking at myself and say, hey, if I'm judging every single police officer based off of the badge that they're wearing on their chest, does that really make me a better person? So I kind of had to, the Officer Challenge. It's interesting. It really made me look deep into myself and understand that there was a lot of things that I had to unlearn myself. And some of the things that I had to unlearn were just things that were personal biases that were taught to me by other people. And that was the biggest thing. And, I love the Officer Challenge because I did it because I was upset with the times, but I was able to learn a lot about myself and really start, growing myself personally.
Right. There it is there. Now, for people that are interested, because we're going to get ready to wrap up here. And again, thank you so much for taking out the time. Again, speaking to Mr. Mike Wing. If people are interested in trying to find out more information about the good work that you're doing.
Because he's talking about paying people's rent.
Exactly. Yeah, you're talking about doing a lot of great things and to assist people out in need. So if people would want to kind of get more information about your mission or even assist, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it under, Unity Spark Change. We're looking to do a bunch of different things, and, it just depends on how much the community helps out. We have some great strategic partners nonprofits that are helping out. We have, Interface Child and Family Services, in United Way, Caneo Community Outreach, Harbor House, Ventura County Family Justice Center Foundation, and Ventura County Community Foundation. And, I also want to give, props to the Ventura County Deputy Sheriff Association. Nick, I've been working directly with the president, Casey Cerroti, executive director, and also who kind of helped me get into this was Patrick, who's a sergeant for Simi Valley PD. Steve Shorts, who's a watch commander for Simi PD. I think I got the list, but if I was going to say just one, a good 15-second tidbit. I've been detained. So a lot of people think that I haven't gone through anything myself, and I've been detained probably 12 times over things that I didn't do. And I was also a victim of police brutality. They thought I did something that was really bad, and they beat me to the point where I had 4 broken ribs. And I turned around and I changed my perspective, and now I'm doing something, and I'm working jointly with the police department to help those that are dealing with currently struggling with COVID. So we're going to directly be helping families. So hashtag Unity to Spark Change is going to be big. If you want to take a look at it more in depth, if you jump on my Instagram, it's Mike_Wing. Or if you jump on Facebook, it's Mike Wing, and there's a post on it where there's an Amazon wish list where you can jump on and actually, donate to different causes that are joining up together with us, like the ones that I listed. And we're asking for more that, other additional nonprofits. We're looking for other businesses. We're looking for individuals that just want to help those that are in a challenging time. We need to do it as a community. We need to stop dividing ourselves and saying pro police, pro one other side, but actually come together in a community and just support pro change.
We appreciate it. So, Mike, when we're pressed up against the clock, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much for giving us time. He has a newborn. Do me a favor. We are against it. I got about 10 seconds, but name drop the fiance and the 2 kids before we get out of here.
Kennedy and Sedona, and the fiance is Nicole.
There you go,
awesome, man. Well,
happy wife, happy life. I'm trying to give you an assist. So
there it
good
is.
stuff.
Hey, enjoy your weekend, brother. Thanks for calling.
There you go. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right. You are tuned into the new home for IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with Coach B.
Andy Turner. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM, IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
We are